Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's Friday, February 6th, and this is our daily NBA show that we've been doing with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Overall, it has been a successful show. We had an awful Tuesday, super embarrassing, but then Joe and I both bounced back with a winner on Thursday. Now I'm 10-8 against spread overall. Joe Duffy is 10-7 against spread overall in this show. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Well, thank you for having me, Mr. Loshak.
Combined, we're 20-15, which is over 57%. That's a good record, but these lines are very tough in the NBA, right, Joe?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I'm 92-68 with premium plays in basketball, which is right about 57%. So, you know, they're not a piece of cake, but I don't promise people 80-90%.
So you're 92-68 against the spread in your premium plays in basketball this year. Tell us a little bit more about that.
And 5-1 recently for somebody who wants to just jump on who's hot. I do have a wise guy play tonight. It's been a great year. We got the Western Conference Game of the Month among 3 winners tonight. OffshoreInsiders.com, and I can already tell you the Saturday card's looking sweet. Got to wait for the lines to come out, but I think we're going to have a big day Saturday as well.
10-7 against spread in our show. You think you can roughly maintain that, even though these aren't your top picks each day?
Yeah, we'll get it a little higher. Why not?
All right. Okay. Well, it's an interesting card. A lot of interesting matchups. Of course, the Atlanta-Golden State matchup. We'll get to that in a second. And a lot of things I'm thinking about. There have been some line movements. I think I might just go with one pick today. It is one of the interesting matchups, so we'll see what your take on it is. New Orleans-OKC, right? OKC is right now a 6 or 6.5 point home favorite. Total's 198. And of course, this is this is the second of a home at home. And OKC went into New Orleans and beat them in the last game. But New Orleans has been very good against the spread recently. OKC has not been that good against the spread recently. They've been losing. They had actually a string of ATS losses before that New Orleans game. And here they are, a 6 or 6.5 point favorite. It's a revenge game for New Orleans. Why would a New Orleans plus 6.5 not be a pretty solid play here?
Yeah, the big question is Kevin Durant. I know he's listed as questionable. I don't know if it's been updated in the last hour or so, but especially if Durant plays, Oklahoma State's been a little bit better with him. But then again, he's been in and out of the lineup, and I think that OKC, all in all, they're looking at the big picture. They just hope that Durant is healthy heading into the postseason. So I think that, you know, OKC is going to be a pretty good go against when they're laying some points. Remember, New Orleans is, of course, still without True Holiday, but they're actually 8-4 against the spread without him. So they've done pretty well without him. And, you know, New Orleans has the second best offensive efficiency in their last 5 games, getting 109.2 points per 100 possessions. So, yeah, I think New Orleans would be a good play.
I'll take them right now. Plus 6.5 is one of the widely available numbers. So I'll take New Orleans plus 6.5. It's a tough card. That might be my only play on the card. Also, the Knicks and Brooklyn, always, you know, it's a marquee rivalry matchup on a Friday night. I was kind of liking the over, but now the line has been climbing, even though, you know, the Brooklyn has at times been a very low-scoring team. It's right now 195.5. I'm still thinking about the over there. The Knicks, of course, have been covering recently and winning, so I was thinking about taking the Knicks plus 7. I was also thinking about maybe the over in Memphis, Minnesota. You know, with Ricky Rubio back for Minnesota, their offense is playing a little bit better, but that line also is climbing. It was 194 on the overnight. Now it's 196.5 or 197. I think, even though those are all leans, I think I might pass on all of them. Joe Duffy, what's your free play for us today?
Well, I think I actually have a couple. In that marquee game tonight, the Golden State and Atlanta, it's actually being played down the road from me. You know, the Warriors, they are playing 3 games in 4 days. It's an exciting matchup, not only for the fans, but for the bettors. You got the number 2 and 3 spread teams in the NBA based on margin of cover. But, you know, ultimately, my outlaw line had Atlanta should be a slight favorite in this game, and in fact the line is moved where they're an underdog, and I don't think that's necessarily sharp line movement. I won't go so far as to say it's square. I really think Atlanta at -1 is the correct line, and the Hawks, as I said, they're going to have that proverbial playoff atmosphere. They're a team that they're not used to playing such big games at home, and you know, the tickets are going for over $1,000, and the significance of that is just the enthusiasm that there is here in Atlanta, and I don't think anybody disputes the importance of having a home court advantage, especially when you do have that playoff atmosphere. I'm going to take Atlanta.
Atlanta's actually 2-4 against spread over their last 6, and Golden State has covered 3 in a row, but all right, Atlanta plus 2. Joe Duffy's first free pick, and you said you have another one for us.
I'm also going to go with Milwaukee. They are the top margin of cover team in the NBA, averaging this year. They're outscoring teams against the spread, that is, by 4.1. They're 33-16 against the spread, and that includes 6-1 their last 7. Their only spread setback during that span was by 1.5, and every other cover was by 5.5 or more. 5 of them were 9 by more. It does, of course, Dwight Howard is also going to be out for Houston, although I have to admit that I think Dwight Howard is a teeny bit overrated. He's still their best player, and as we said, teams can rally around adversity short term, but now that they've missed him for 4 games, all of a sudden they're going to miss his presence. So I think that, Milwaukee, look, they got the second best defensive efficiency in the NBA at allowing 98.7 points per 100 possessions. So I'm going to go with Milwaukee here to continue their spread run.
So I think we got our free picks. I'm going to give New Orleans plus 6.5. Joe Duffy's going to take Milwaukee. Currently plus 6 is a widely available number. 5.5 and 6 are available. And also Atlanta plus 2. All right, so I guess those are the free plays. Can we discuss some of the other interesting matchups? You have notes and intel for us?
I got notes and intel up the you-know-what.
All right, okay. Well, let's talk about the Knicks and Brooklyn. It's a rivalry game. The Knicks were horrible for most of the year. They have been playing better recently and covering. They're 6-2 against spread over their last 8. The Nets have covered 4 in a row as well, but, it's not a big road travel for the Knicks. A rivalry game, Friday night matchup, Knicks plus 7. Would that not be a play that attracts you, Joe?
No, it does. And in fact, that is fitting into our very much time-tested dichotomous straight-up and ATS theory. As you said, the Knicks are 11-38 straight up, 3-21 on the road, but they've covered 4 of their last 5 on the road, and exactly as you said, 6-2 overall. So what that means is that the New York, the best handicappers and the best bettors out there, they find teams that are sneaking under the radar, and basically a team that is covering and not winning is the type of team we love to exploit, and New York is looking in that direction. So definitely a strong lean there. Heck, if you want me to call it an official free pick, you could probably talk me into it.
Well, yeah, same with me. You could probably talk me into it as well, but the Nets have been playing well as well, so I think I'm just going to make it a strong lean and pass. I'm just going to go with New Orleans. But do you want to make it a free pick? I don't know. What do you want to do, Joe?
No, the 2 official free picks I gave. Why don't we do what those dishonest handicappers do? If it wins, we'll count it, and if it loses, we say it was a pass. Okay.
All right, it's a pass for you, Joe Duffy. And then
Right.
let's just talk about Cleveland, right? Cleveland killing it just against the spread, beating everyone, all comers. They played a really strong game against the Clippers, a good team last night. Then they rested their starters in the 4th quarter, and they're coming back. Sure, they're a 6-point favorite on the road. Indiana kind of rested, and they do have some good depth, but the way Cleveland's been playing, maybe they're a juggernaut. You want to kind of bet them against anyone in most spots. Is this a spot where you think Cleveland might again be a good bet?
I definitely have some conflicting metrics here. I've told you that, part of my arsenal, I'm a big believer in contrarian plays, and I think we really got the metrics down on how to really use contrarian plays. Cleveland is the biggest public bet. So far, they're at 87% of the public bets are on Cleveland, which would say, according to our contrarian, that Indiana would at least be the top contrarian play. But conversely, the road team's 29-15 against the spread in the Pacers game. So they've been a good team to bet on the road, but a good team to bet against at home. And then remember the regression to the mean. I've told you that as a general rule of thumb, home underdogs are a good play because they're going to be an inferior team, and it's perceived that the superior team is laying a small number, but what the public likes to bet got off to that great start this year, 119-82 if you're betting road favorites. However, lately home underdogs have been covering 24-12 since January the 12th. But all in all, I would probably pass on that game, but if you're certainly an official lean towards the Indiana Pacers.
All right, well, the last time you told me that there was a big public play that seemed like obvious value, it was yesterday with Dallas. I said that, and turned out the public was right. It was a big, easy cover for Dallas, so maybe some of these big public plays are worth betting sometimes.
No, there's no question about it. I think if you were to blindly bet contrarian plays, you'd probably hit it about 53-54%. So, but yeah, you are correct that Sacramento yesterday seemed to have been a nice contrarian bet, but I don't have, believe me, if I had any system or any metric that hit 95% of the time, I'd be a multi-gazillionaire.
All right, well, a lot of leans from Joe Duffy and I, but officially only 3 picks. Joe's, again, Atlanta +2, Milwaukee +6, and I'm on New Orleans +6.5. Thanks so much, Joe Duffy. Awesome call, as usual. OffshoreInsiders.com is Joe Duffy's website, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.